for slashing
We hear you
prices.
now, Bill. What's up with you?
There we go. Hey, hey, hey. Good morning. The boxing
So,
voice, the voice of the people, the voice of the streets, man. Shout out to everybody on the panel and on the chat. How's my good brothers doing?
All
what's
good,
up,
man.
Bill?
Actually here
Top of the morning,
discussing
brother.
your latest I guess comment
We're
where
talking
you're
about,
saying the Tank
yes.
Davis era may be over due to this Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney Ryan Garcia fight. Can you give us a little? Can you elaborate what you mean? Because I heard your interview with the guy from Boxing Scene, but you said it's more about what's going to be done this year opposed to comparing it to last year.
Well, absolutely. And what Devin has done is in the sport is continue to try to give you guys the best events, the best fighters. You know what we bring to the table. You know our willingness to be open and transparent. Just everything about Devin makes him the face of the sport. From the way he's come in the game to the what we are at 25 years old uh, and being so young in the sport. And when you compare it to the greats, and one particular past era being the Floyd Mayweather era, there's so many different comparisons that relate. And when you go against the machine, so to speak, you have all these narratives talked about this and talked about that. One thing I'm saying is shout out to Brooklyn and just that wonderful um, legacy that Brooklyn represents. I don't think they're short on no money around there. You know what I mean? I think that maybe the people might be not 100% sure who Devin is fighting on April the 20th. I think the antics that Ryan Garcia has posed has come into question. And like I said, he chose to take that approach and that route. Now, anyone else that's fighting or anybody that he's fighting, he's shows a lot more confidence in the promotion. So when he came back and his confidence was more towards, you know, flying saucers or whatever it might be. I don't want to go into it, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? If that's the route that he wants to champion this, then understand it's bringing a lot of awareness and a lot of attention to that as well. You know what I mean? And necessarily diverting from the fight. Nevertheless, I say the Ness, you've been here and you just sat through it and seen what Devin Haney goes through as a fighter to deliver the fights to the people. Now, I don't know. Is Ryan Garcia living up to what he's supposed to be doing? On April 20th, we're going to tell. And I know one thing about it is with one of the gentlemen that came on and he said, it's like a team party where you got to show up, where you got to know that it's popping because you just don't know. You just don't know, and that's just being truthful with the people. But I know that Ryan Garcia, in my personal opinion, will be there on April 20th because it's a whole lot more at stake than just the money. Now Ryan said he had got 30 million or whatever he had got. You know what I mean? We've never been short on money. We know that Floyd Mayweather said that this guy is one of the three faces of the sport. Now, to knock this down, to either drive him in the dirt or drive him into obscurity, to drive him, away from boxing. That's what Devin Haney's job was to do, was to put him in the dirt on that mat on April the 20th or get his lying punk ass away from boxing. You know what I mean? And that's what we set out to do. And that's the difference between Devin and anybody else. We brought the glamour to the 140-pound division. We know that the 140-pound division was quiet. The 135-pound division was quiet until Devin made the noise and brought the structure in it. Neshu was there, and 140 pounds now becomes the glamour division. Now, you can say that we aren't it, but I mean, it's sure controversy goes everywhere we go to.
So, are you still in agreements that this fight should have took place where it's happening in Barclay, or would you, do you now see why people felt like it should have been on the West?
No, I'm just saying that in order, and with New Yorkers and that East Coast, ain't no plan, Jack. You can come over here from that West Coast with that you can come off this West Coast with that slow drag if you want to. I'm a real player that I done traveled all around the country. I'm not gonna play with the East Coast like that. You dig? I'm gonna keep it 100% 100, and I'm gonna show down, show out. You know what I mean, and do my thing. And that's what Devin is gonna do. You know what I mean? Because he comes from good stock. We know what it is. You know, and we know what it ain't, and we know that there ain't no money problem for no Brooklynites. No Harlem. Harlem or Manhattan. Queens. I mean, you've
Jersey got
seen
a bag too,
events.
Bill. Jersey got a
Do
bag
they?
too, baby.
Oh, ain't no doubt Jersey got a bag. You know what I mean? Listen, if you get money in New York, it ain't nothing. And that's where they run to first. The first stop is to run to Jersey. You dig with the money. You know what I mean? Yeah. So,
Hey, Bill, can I just jump in right quick? Two things.
yes, sir.
One thing I've never had the opportunity to say to you, but as a father, every man is black or white. Every man with a child should aspire to propel his son to the levels that you did for Devin. Period. Let me say that,
Thank you,
man to
King.
man. Um, the second thing is keep it to the boxing. That's the feeling, and I was the one that said that because Ryan, nothing against him, but
I still
he
hear
only
you.
got a few avenues to market himself, and I think he did a disservice to this fight by going the conspiracy theory route instead of us just allowing to believe that, hey, if he's in there for a title shot, he might give it his all. I think he's kind of leaning a little bit too more on the salaciousness as opposed to the boxing. And I think that just hurt it for people like me. I got people asking me, yo, you going this in Brooklyn? I'm like, yo, I don't know if this guy going to show up because maybe they do that in California. And I'm not slating California. I'm just saying the people that follow Ryan Garcia blindly, whether he's being a Christian or conspiracy theorist, we just not going to do that out here. So it's very hard to think of when we're going to put our money behind him. We love Devin. Ain't nothing against Devin. It's just Ryan is doing a disservice to this fight, but I think there's still a lot of support for it, no doubt.
Well, one thing about Dev, when you finally realize that you fight him, then or after, you know that it's the real deal. Ryan put him on the list, said he put him on the list last because him being the best of the best. So I think some of this, gonna come out in Ryan that he's actually preparing for his next and second career. You know what I mean? And possibility that this might be the last one for the kid. Because he's sure not carrying the hat of a boxing promoter in King Rye Promotions, 100% all in, and understanding the boxing business, right? He's not doing a great job with the boxing business because he's trying to do, some other things. But nevertheless, one thing that we want to do is to pull up in New York. You know what I mean? Pull up in Brooklyn. We haven't been there. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. Come out and see on April the 20th the new face of boxing at 25 years old, two division, undisputed, making his first title defense at 140 pounds. And that's what it is. You go back and look over time. Of course, we could have ran back and went to the Bay where they love it at. You know what I mean? Where you know what I mean? It would have been great. We had an opportunity to go to Las Vegas and compete against, Canelo. But ultimately, I'm riding with the decision that Golden Boy made because how many ever fans it is in Brooklyn, you know what I mean? We building. We going to go put that lick down, always respecting, you know what I mean? The city, having respect for the city and building to come back again. And that's part of being 25 years old. Now watch this. He younger than Richard Hitchinson. Uh, you know, same age and all that as Keyshawn Davis. And same, listen, come on, let's talk about the guys, his contemporaries, because they've been around like Kobe and LeBron. You know what I mean? Kevin Garnett. He jumped out of high school with it. You know what I mean? And came out of Tijuana. So when a person says that they can't do it, Devin represents that you can. So that's another reason why I said that he's the face of it. And I always say the transparency. They can keep pissing on your head and telling you it's rain. They can keep blocking and stopping. But I'm telling you, the plan that Allah has for us, no man can break. This is a vision. We're
Bill,
walking in it. We got faith. Talk to me, Ness. We got faith, and it is
I'm
what
just
it
a
is.
guy. I'm just a guy that has been on the outside looking in, and I feel like Devin's been better promoted with Matchroom and with Top Rank. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm not feeling the presence of Oscar and Golden Boy in this situation. Um,
Mhm. But watch
and
this, Ness. Watch this, Ness. In order to go get your man, you got to do some things that are non-traditional, unconventional, and that's just what he did. You see what I'm saying? Dude been fat mouthing everywhere around town. He talked to Mike Tyson. He talked to everybody. He said that he lost the tank because he was dehydrated. His dad said that, all these excuses. So we had to go get the man. We had to go get the man that they was talking about at whatever price that it was. We had to go get him because everyone put the bullseye on his back, including TBE himself. Now, if he's not what he is and he ain't all that, then who exposed him to be that other than Devin Haney? If had we not exposed him to all this, then no, the world wouldn't have never have seen it. They was running around here talking about he got Mexico, he got a fan base, he got this, he got that. You see what I mean? We said that, listen, it's Devin Haney, and it's the Devin Haney era. And either you're going to, listen, you're going to get exposed fucking with Devin. That's what's going to happen.
speaking of exposed, do you believe the leaked sparring that has been released of Ryan landing a right hand and dropping his sparring partner?
Yeah, man, I told you, listen, it doesn't take much to, if a person is hit flush, for them to go down. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't, that doesn't, Ryan has power. Ryan has power to knock you down over there on that right side. You just seen it, and he has power to clean you up over there on that left side. You know, I'm not rocked to sleep by him as a boxer. I know he is, right?
But you believe it though, because I mean I just find it ironic that he's releasing sparring footage, dropping someone with a right hand when he says that it would be funny if he could knock out Devin with a right hand. So I don't know if he's
Right,
trying to
because
build to the
that's what he's been working
conspiracy.
on. No, that's what he's been working on, that right side, as he should. As Derek, you wouldn't expect a future Hall of Fame trainer like Derek, trainer of the year, and Derek James, that Ryan Garcia wouldn't be prepared. Derek just don't ain't gonna sign his name to it. You know what I mean? Now, if it was a backyard, we're gonna get Ryan Garcia. If it's Brooklyn, if it's wherever, we're gonna get him, right? And that's what we set out to do, right? Now, the people, they're saying, okay, well, we want to go here, or we want the split to be this, we looking at them like, soon as we handle this business, that the world gonna know that no matter what you are, no matter how many units sold, no matter how you are, Devin is the ultimate dance partner. Period. It was just one more. It was just one more feather, or the biggest feather I think that Gervonta Davis had in his hat is the Ryan Garcia fight.
So why do you feel that his era is over or maybe over? What about this
Well,
particular fight with Ryan and Haney
well,
will
because
put an end to the Tank era?
Well, I mean, it's like I said, it's no longer the days where you can just hide behind promoters and hide behind networks, because you have platforms like this, and you can come on and answer those tough questions. I mean, when you say that the fights can't happen, there's no sides of the street, and that's why I said is now it's that Devin has worked at 25 years old. Not only is he undisputed two-division champion, working on his first title defense, but Ness, he's worked with Golden Boy. He's worked with Top Rank. He's worked with Showtime. He's worked with Matchroom. So is there really a side of the street, Ness?
I mean, he hasn't worked with Al. That's the only one side people
Um,
want to see. They want to
wait,
see him signed to the PBC. People feel like
um,
if he's with the PBC, he will be able, in
well,
theory,
he
to
was,
get that
well, he
fight
was,
with Tank.
he was and has been, Ness, you have to agree that while at Showtime coming off a Showbox, he was the hottest prospect that PBC could have signed.
Yeah, man, I'm sure.
Okay,
But maybe
so
what they
right,
presented to
but
you, did
but
you
but
not
but
like
Ness,
it?
not only would he be the hottest prospect PBC would have signed, he also would have been the biggest threat to the biggest fighter or one of the or the future of PBC in Gervonta Tank Davis.
So you're saying they never offered you an offer?
I'm saying I never got an offer from them.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So when I say that, I said, have we been there? Have we done that at 25 Ness? Can you say that? Devin Haney has been there and done that at 25 years of age. Younger than his contemporaries. He's the youngest of the bunch. And and done that. In terms of that, is there a side of the street when you get through with it after looking at Devin's career at 25?
Again, only that outside, like that
Well,
outside.
Ness, well, Steven Espinosa and any fighter that comes off of the Showbox network, if you know any of the promoters, whether it be um, any one of them, they were house promoters for the Showtime network,
For sure.
which is one and the same as the PBC. You know, we can't do anything more than have a relationship with Ellerby, or a relationship with Floyd Mayweather and Devin's relationship. You know what I mean? Um, I don't believe that you guys want to believe that there's sides of the streets. If the fighters want to make the fights happen, like Leonard Ellerby says all the time, he says, "Who's the boss?"
Tank's the boss.
Tank's the boss, and whatever Tank wants to do, Tank is going to do because he's the boss. So I don't believe that there's the sides of the streets, and I believe that Devin single-handedly has not only did that, but there's no franchise belt because of Devin Haney.
But we have seen
There's no
Devin sign to different individuals. So
Yes,
will
sir.
we ever seen him sign to an individual that has a direct link with Al Heyman, like a Mayweather Promotions or TGB Promotions, or maybe a direct link with Louis
Well,
DeCubas?
if that was the only way that the fight happens, and you can see the fighter that we're fighting right now fought with under Golden Boy, fought a fight with them. So that kills that narrative. Now, so
But you
we're
had
with
to
the
go to
same
Oscar
company,
to make this fight. You went to Oscar.
but
You
that's what
guys
I'm
are
saying.
with
So
Oscar for
Oscar,
this one
so
fight.
what? No, that's what I'm saying is so if Oscar is the guy that you prefer to work with, right? If Oscar is the guy, because remember, there's there's an opportunity for somebody to be a liaison to making the thing happen if we can't, right? So
Yes.
if you know what I mean, if the fight is on the table, then and they prefer to go through Oscar and they prefer to introduce it to Oscar, what can we say?
Nothing. Just accept it if you
Nothing.
like the offer.
Exactly. So there
But you
that
not with
kills the
Oscar
narrative.
after this fight though.
That that kills. You don't think Oscar would want to make the fight happen between Devin and Tank?
But what I'm just saying, you would be a free agent. Why would you stay with Oscar when you could just go
Because we've been
directly to Floyd or go
well
directly to
well
TGB or to Leonard?
well we've been a free agent and that hasn't helped.
Yeah, but you tried to sign with them like the people that signed with them, like Canelo signed with the PBC a 3-fight deal.
And that's what I just said is that there's never been anything on the table to sign.
No, I know,
Tell
but I
mhm.
mean, are you willing to talk to Floyd and Ellerby about signing
No,
to
we've
them?
listen, we've discussed that with Ellaby. I've discussed it with Ellaby, who's also told me that fight will happen in time, whenever that time is. He doesn't know. He's also said that publicly and privately it's up to Gervonta Davis about making the fight, and it's not about us signing to PBC to then fight fighters on PBC if Tank Davis doesn't want to fight.
Okay, so basically, if he's not on a PBC fight deal, there's no need for you to sign the PBC.
Yes. No.
I mean, what about just establishing a working relationship, like so
Oh
that
yeah.
you
Yeah, yeah.
can?
Just Yeah,
get to that.
right. Just start working, right? Just at the just work,
No,
just go
no, no.
work and
Listen,
just
listen,
no,
listen,
no, no, no.
Bill.
I hear you. No, no, I hear
Because we
you.
could
The
do,
bet. Listen,
we could say, hey, we want Tank, or we can't
I
guarantee you
know.
Tank. Cool.
Oh,
Let's start with Pitbull Cruz. That's a
and
unification.
listen, and
Maybe you could
if
sign for the Pitbull
If
fight.
listen, if Pitbull wanted to fight, and he has great management with
Sean Gibbons, Manny
Sean
Pacquiao.
Gibbons, yeah, Sean Gibbons, Manny Pacquiao, then they'll make the fight happen, man. Ain't no fucking all them sides of the streets and all that bullshit. That's not. It's not what it is. Ness, it's
Cool,
just
cool.
not.
From a trainer standpoint, which fight do you prefer? And not business. You trainer, Bill, not DHP CEO. Is it Matias or is it Pitbull for the first unification?
Um, either one of them. Either one of them. They're both the same.
Stylistically, what's easier for you as a trainer? You got to put the game plan together.
They,
You know what hand you're going to be
they're
facing.
listen. They're both the same.
They're not the
They
same.
are. They
I mean,
are. All these
after
fighters. Listen.
Pitbull,
All these fights. All the fights that I see for Devin are stay busy fights and just pursue.
Pitbull,
What?
Pitbull and Matisse stay busy fight. Stop playing, Bill.
What are you
Come
talking
on.
about?
Like, all right,
They're
so
stay busy
after
fights. They're
after the
stay busy
Pitbull
fights.
Rolly, people did think Pitbull's a little bit limited. That he didn't use a jab. He's pretty wide. So I could see you going that angle, stay busy, but Matias can't be a stay busy fight for you.
I mean, Ness, we're at the top. We're at the top of the food chain, man. Only thing you can do right now with Devin is stay busy, my guy.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? We're in our those guys are in the same weight class. Devin is not jumping up 2 weight classes or jumping up 3 weight classes um like they're talking about Alicia doing. You know what I mean? Now you're talking about some amazing, incredible things that you're stepping up to do. You're not just staying busy, but you're attempting to do something that no woman has ever done. You know what I mean? And when you talk about a man, you talk about Terrence Crawford, who's wants to step up to what 168 and fight Canelo.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, something that now that's something that no one has done in this era. You know what I mean? That I could think of. You know what I mean? And if it would be, it would have to go back to all the greats. So that's different than staying busy. That's challenging yourself and that's doing something that, like I said, that's different than what we look at as the fighters in the division, the 140-pound division.
But there
Those are
still
stay
has to
busy
be a
fights.
style that you feel suits your son more than the other, because they don't fight the same.
Ness, they're both the same in terms of when you handicap one, you handicap the other, then they're both limited. You see what I mean?
Are you going to
And they,
be
but they,
in
but
Puerto
they, but they,
Rico June
but
15th?
but they're both tremendous young fighters with a lot of knockout and punching power. That most of the fighters and on them, you know, they don't stylistically match up with them because it's bull to bull, it's straightforward, rock 'em, sock 'em, and all that. But Devin has the style that can adjust to any fighter, whether you're a boxer or whether you're a puncher. And that's what I believe. That's what we've been working on. So when you hear me talking or you hear Devin talking about the guys, we don't see what you guys see.
Are you going to be in attendance June 15th in Puerto Rico?
Who's fighting?
Matias and Liam Paro. And that's why I asked, because I know that Paro and Devin spent some time together, had some lunches and stuff. So I don't know if you have a keen interest because of that.
I always like to watch in or around the division. You know what I mean? And no telling, I might pop up in Puerto Rico after and watch it. Why not?
How do you feel about Eddie Hearn seeming more excited to try and make Pitbull and Matias
You
versus,
better catch an Uber there, Sean. Huh?
yeah,
All right, what'd you say?
how do you feel about Eddie feeling more excited to make Puerto Rico versus Mexico with Matias and Pitbull versus, The great All American versus the Puerto Rican in Matias and Devin.
Eddie knows boxing.
Nah, it's true. I mean, I want that rivalry too. Like, I'm mad that Matias is fighting on my honeymoon. I would have went to Puerto Rico for that. We haven't had a big fight in PR and forever in a day. So that was something I was interested in. But
Um, but like we said, there was a guy. There was a guy that was a mandatory that they said that we didn't face the mandatory, that we were so disrespectful that we don't say his name, we don't do all that. What about him? What's his name? Ness?
Sandor?
Sandor? I know. See, like he see when, but the other day everyone was he won't face his mandatory, won't face his mandatory, right? But I'm just was mentioning his name
Yeah, I
with the
mean that
stuff,
was
Ness.
that
I
was
wasn't
that
being.
was Eddie though. Eddie was under the
Yeah, well,
impression y'all was gonna vacate the belt, and Devin had to correct him on social media. But
yeah.
you have paid step aside money twice, so you're getting down that Danny Garcia, Victor Postal realm where people can start to say that you're ducking them.
Yeah, I know. I know. That's why I mentioned his name. You know what I mean? But the
So how
thing
would
about
that
it
work?
is,
Because Danny and I had a debate because it wasn't a conversation because he feels like
come
uh
on, let's go.
you would you as DHP would go back to Top Rank for that fight. I feel like why wouldn't you and DHP allow that fight to go to purse bid? Let Eddie bid for it. Damn, he's gone on me.
You said allow the fight to go to purse bid.
Yeah.
Whatever, Ness. If that's what you wanted to do, you
I
you know
mean
what I mean.
I mean
You're
they're
you're
not gonna
big in the
guarantee you
BSP. You're
Tio,
big.
right? They're not
You
gonna
listen,
guarantee you
Ness.
Teal because Devin was. I mean, not Devin. Excuse
I
me.
mean,
Danny was
Ness.
making it seem like y'all was gonna re-sign a Top Rank, and I'm like, for
Listen,
what? For a
listen,
mandatory?
Well,
Ness.
no, no, no,
Listen.
no, no. But, bro, I perfectly made it clear that was my. That's what I thought. I
I
said
know. I
at no
said
But
point, at
but
Danny.
what
no
I'm
I
point.
saying is,
said Danny.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
clear
at
to
but
this
say
point,
Danny.
yeah,
no
champ.
at
But at
Ness.
no point, and I
Ness.
made it clear, at no point did they ever lead me to believe.
And I never
Yeah,
said
but it
that on
doesn't.
No, I
this
But
mean,
but
conversation.
and Danny, you can go down that rabbit hole. You can look for. It doesn't make a difference. Ness. Devin is the best in the world. And Danny get a chance to see that shit every day, live and in color. And on April 20th, you're gonna see. It don't matter. Mandatory unification, it don't matter. I got that guy. And they can keep playing, blocking, and doing all that. Alhamdulillah, we was able to wake up this morning. At 25 years old, he's the guy. And we're gonna keep breaking down those stereotypes, those misconceptions. You know what I mean? Brooklyn, April the 20th. Come out and listen. All my guys in the Bronx, Harlem, you know what I mean? Queens, money getting individuals, you know what I mean? Come out. Those that aren't fortunate and you know what I mean, you fire sticking it, do what you do. You know what I mean? Ain't no problem. We don't listen, we don't care. Ain't nothing about that. You know what I mean? Because God has blessed us and we forgive you. If you got a fire stick it, do that. If you feel like that is good for you, you know what I'm saying, in your soul or whatever, then do it. Those that support boxing and support Devin and the movement that we're spearheading and pioneered, then support the event and we appreciate you. But it ain't no big old deal, Ness. We only come in there because Jay-Z done graced it, Kyrie Irving, all the bad niggas that came through Brooklyn to Barclays, you know what I'm saying? And then did it. Period. So we ain't worried about it, King. You know what I mean? Shout out to New York. We on our way. See y'all in a few days. You hear me?
When you guys get there?
We on our way, man. We on our way. We on our way, bro. And I'm telling you, listen.
Bill,
and I'm-
Bill, before you
Huh?
jump off, just to be clear, back in December or whenever it was paid, but when you guys fought Regis, since Regis was the champion going into the fight, he was the one that paid Sandor the step aside, correct? Or
Yes.
or how did it work out?
Well, like we always say, and that's where Ness they get scared about sending us an offer and talking to us because you just never know what we might take. You just never know what we might negotiate. And if you really don't want to, if you really don't want to make it happen, you'll choose not to negotiate with us at all. And to answer your question about that, Danny, I don't 100% remember. I just know that, you know what I mean, Devin had done everything it took, you know, to get into be in the position that we in. And we don't let money, size of the street, we don't let nothing stand in the way. That's what's so scary about it.
Bill, so I guess my question just was like too obvious. It is a top rank fight because you didn't answer it then.
Which one is a top ranked fight with what?
Sandor.
Well, I mean, no, listen, I didn't say that it was a top ranked fight. I just said that it was a fight with me that I always want to get the most eyeballs, whether it's ESPN in conjunction with a DAZN or whatever. You know what I mean? If I can spearhead it, I always say, oh, bring the promoters together, bring the networks together, and make the fight happen. I don't X out one and say, okay, well, I prefer this one or that one. And I think that that's why I've been able to navigate or help navigate Devin's career because, you know what I mean? I'm doing it for the people and I'm answering the questions for the people and going to the places that the people want to see the fights. And I think that that's why Devin's resume is what it is at 25 years old. Different than a Richard Hitchinson, who's the same age or older, taking a step back after a Liam, seeing a Liam's for the first time. You know what I mean? So we breaking down boxing of the era, right? A guy that has the following. We've also gotten the decorated guy. You know what I mean? We've got a hometown fight to dispel that we don't have a home base. So, you know, like I said, at 25 years old, and it's about the body of work. This is one more step and one more towards the Mount Rushmore of boxing, period. You know, at 25. You go back and you look at it and you compare everyone else at 25 and then compare Devin.
Well,
And then
that's why I keep bringing it
one
up
more
because
question,
I
man.
see that I see at least that Eddie is willing to go back to Oakland. He did an interview over the weekend where he said, that he would like to take Devin and Sandor back to Oakland, and I don't hear any representatives of Top Rank talking in that manner. That's why I found it like, oh wow, you would go to Top Rank. I didn't know, especially when
No,
they
no,
didn't
no.
offer Matthias Tio, right? He just came out of
Well,
there not being able to get a
they'll
guaranteed Tio offer on a contract.
they'll have definitely with a Sandor Martin, they'll have on the table an option to choose to go through ESPN and have a dual marketing. I mean, I know ESPN would want to do something, obviously, to be involved in the fight. So you know, and I always say the more eyeballs. Of course, Eddie has an allegiance to the zone and you know Matchroom, of course, and then I you know have an allegiance to DHP, and you know bringing awareness to Devin and also pushing the sport forward. So
Last one,
I wouldn't rule against it.
I
Last one,
promise.
Mess.
You you
Okay.
you know, Juan Urango isn't you. You know, you're my manager of the decade. But do you think you can get Top Rank to give you a multi-fight deal with Tio actually on it? This guy's escaped y'all. You guys have history. There's the footage with him and, Devin arguing. There's footage of him asking for 4 million, then 10 million, his father asking for 20. There's a bit of a history between Tio and Haney. Can you see the Sandor fight being parlayed into a multi-fight fight deal that ends in Tiafimo unification 2024?
Well, I think that unifications trump the mandatory. You don't go as a champion and then say, okay, you know, we want to do that. I don't think no one should have a problem if it's Tio before Sandu Martin and a unification.
No, I mean I don't think they would, but I mean a two-fight deal is a two-fight deal, right? Are you saying you would prefer just because I mean regardless you're
To
gonna
go
have to
straight at, yeah, to
revisit
go straight at,
Sandor. Yeah, but
yeah, but
regardless it's still
mhm.
their fighter. So if you beat Tio, you still got
Well,
Sandor.
well, what I'm saying is that if T.O. wants to fight and Top Rank wants to fight, right? Then they have an opportunity to make a unification fight for the people. If you don't want to fight and you're still building, like a Shakur or like a Richard Hitchinson or like a T.O. going taking a step back and taking on a Steve Claggett, if you need more time, then you just say it. We don't have any problem with Devin. You know what I mean? Those people that are stepping down, but they were doing a lot of fat mouthing, Ness. And once they step down, like I say, the pit bulls and the Matthias speed up the
But
ladder.
Bill, do you really look at T.O. fighting Steve Claggett as a step down?
No, I look at it as a what do you do when you don't step down? Yeah.
Stay
Huh?
busy. You
Yeah,
stay
stay, oh
busy.
yeah. Yeah. That's what I think that they're not staying busy. They're
What?
re no, rebuilding. Rebuilding. They step
Nah.
back to rebuild. Step back to rebuild.
But gone are the days when we get these. I would love Devin to fight 3 times a year, and if he got to slide in a Steve Claggett because he fought Ryan and Tio this year, and then Steve Claggett, what's wrong with
No,
that?
no. There's one that you're stepping back because you've had a performance that you need to get something else in, right? Like a Hitchinson has said he's doing. But then you have a stay busy where you're coming off a good performance. You're coming off a good performance and you're still building. You're moving up to 140. You're moving up to another division. I think you have to take if it's a step back in if it's a step back in competition, it's not a mandatory. It's not a. Then you just building. If you're coming off a good point, he can be building. He can still be
What
building.
about testing a new market? Like the rumors he's going to Miami, bro.
Yeah, he could be building. He could be building. That could be building. That
Bill,
could
you
be
know I
definitely
love you,
building.
man. Thank you for coming on. I was starting to think I did, son. You ain't been around here so
Man,
long, but
come on, man. Ain't
appreciate
no
you.
doubt, man. It's the boxing voice, the voice of people. You know I'm a showdown. You
All
dig?
right.
Listen, April the 20th. Come out, man. All the real players, man. All the nice and
I'm gonna
pretty
be there, Bill.
females,
Be
man.
there.
Come, come out with them Chanel bags and them Gucci bags and all that stuff, Birkin bags. You know what I mean? Y'all in New York and Brooklyn, Harlem, Queens, man. Come on out. Bring your ladies out. Let's have a good time and let's watch the face of boxing, the young face at 25, moving the sport forward. And we ain't caring about nobody, bar none. April the 20th, one more fight towards the Mount Rushmore of boxing, man. Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. Pay-per-view on DAZN at the Barclays Center. Thank you, Ness.
Thank you.
What up,
There you have
YouTube family? Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us get to that 1,000,000 subscribers. We're on the road to 1,000,000. And obviously, we have other great content on our Patreon channel. So since this video is over, head on over to our Patreon and check out all the exclusive content or right here on our YouTube members.